दूसरा इत्तिफाक सुन्नी कॉन्फ्रेंस में रहेगा और आखिर से कुछ पाने की माजरत हालांकि मुझे दिया गया है कुछ बात के लिए आपके साथ इजहार ख्याल किया जाए। दुआ करें मेरी हाजिरी और आपकी हाजिरी अल्लाह की बारगाह में कबूल हो जाए। कबल इसके गुज़ारिशात का आगाज़ करूँ तमाम हज़रात बारगाह रिसालत महाविया के दूर पेश हो रहे हैं। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन वल आक़िबतु लिल-मुत्तक़ीन वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला अशरफिल अंबिया'i वल मुरसलीन وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين العارفين وعلى أصحابه وأحبائه وعشيرته أجمعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. وقال جل جلاله وعم نواله في شان حبيبه مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created this universe and gave the entire kingdom of this universe to his beloved Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the world that we live in today, there is an unlimited amount of resource that is being expended to understand this alameen, this universe. That race to understand this alameen has attracted the minds of great people, great resources, governments, groups, but despite so much advancement in the understanding of our universe, no one has ever claimed that they have understood this alameen, this universe in totality. No one has made this claim. And the more they investigate, the more they realize how vast this universe actually is. So if science at its peak today concedes that it cannot understand this universe, that it cannot understand this alameen, despite so much advancement, then science must also concede that it cannot understand the Rabb of this Alameen. So if the Alameen can't be understood, then the Rabb of the Alameen can't be understood. And if the Rabb of this Alameen can't be understood, then how can we practically understand Rahmatan lil Alameen? We must concede that understanding Rahmatan lil Alameen is beyond the remit of our capacity, but as far as we are concerned, we embark upon this course so that may Allah allow us this opportunity to get a glimpse of the majesty that He gave to the one whom He loved over and above this universe, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have been asked to talk about the relevance of tasawwuf to Islam. One must remember, in the day and age that we live, there is a huge debate that is taking place between two groups. One group is that group which represents religion, mazhab, and one group represents science, secularism. And it is often said that when you have science, why do you need religion? Why? Why is science better than religion? Because science gives you answers, religion doesn't give you answers. Science gives you explanations which you can understand, which your mind can comprehend, but religion doesn't do that. Religion offers no answers. This is a huge debate in the world in that we live today. In fact, now the debate has gone to the next level, and it is saying which is the better way of life, the religious way of life or the scientific way of life. Look how many people kill themselves in the name of religion, but you don't find people kill themselves in the name of science. They may use science to kill themselves, but they don't fight in the name of science. Well, that's a provocative issue in itself. But the point is, why have religion in the first place? It doesn't give us answers. In the world we live today, we need answers. And Marxists, when they launch their opposition against religion, generally, they describe religion as a pie in the sky when you die. You cannot really understand what religion is all about. Let's face it. If all these people in this room weren't born Muslims, would we really be Muslims today? It's a question which really must ask yourself. And then another question arises, this is a Sunni conference, this is a Sunni mosque, this is a Sunni organization. If you weren't born Sunni, would you actually really be Sunni? Or do you just subscribe to Sunniyat because you were born into a Sunni home? If this is the criteria of your Sunniyat, then even the Hindu is right, because he says, well, I was born in a Hindu house, I'm a Hindu. This is a very fundamental question which you must ask yourself. But the problem is, the answer to this question doesn't lie in religion. Why? What is religion? Religion, mazhab, ek nizam-e bandagi hai. It is a set of rules concerning worship. Paradoxically, you have liberalism, you have these other isms, communism, or that's finished, liberalism, or even democracy. Ye nizam-e zindagi hai. So, because nizam-e zindagi ke piche science hai, so therefore the ideology of secularism is more attractive to the thinking mind. Not to the mind who says I'm a Muslim because I was born a Muslim, or the mind that says I was a Sunni because I was born a Sunni. No. To the mind that actually starts with a question mark and says, why? Why am I a Muslim? Why do I need Islam? Why am I a Sunni? That is what the unwan of the Sunni conference. Why are we Sunni? Are we just Sunnis because we inherited this Aqidah from our ancestors? Or is there something more to this? My dear brothers, I would like to inform you that if you put Islam and all the other, if you put the religions of the world and science, you will see that science succeeds over all religions. You will see that science offers better explanations over all religions, but not Islam. Why? What has Islam got that other religions don't have? Because Islam सिर्फ निज़ाम में बंदगी नहीं है, बल्कि निज़ाम में ज़िंदगी भी है. It is not just a form of worship, it is also a system of life. And it is not just do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. It is a form of life that gives you answers to every question that you have in this life. But the problem is we don't want to ask those questions. We just want to say Subhanallah, MashaAllah, Nare Takbir, and that's it. And go home and just eat. But we need to start asking those questions. Why? Because this generation in front of you is still accustomed to saying Subhanallah, MashaAllah. But the generations after you will not automatically say Subhanallah, MashaAllah. You have to convince them in the mind, in the heart. So my topic to you today is on what basis can we find all these answers? Because the biggest tool that science has का सबसे बड़ा हथियार टेक्नोलॉजी, इस टेक्नोलॉजी, और टेक्नोलॉजी के बलबूते पे वह दावा करता है that people of religion simply look. But did you know कि साइंटिस्ट का एक भाई भी है? There is a brother to the scientist. क्योंकि साइंटिस्ट की असल उसका मकसद क्या है जिंदगी का? What's the purpose of scientist's life? One purpose, to find the truth. लेकिन साइंटिस्ट का एक भाई भी है और वो बड़ा भाई है, छोटा भाई नहीं है. और मैंने बड़ा सोच समझ के ये लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल किया, भाई. शरीका नहीं है, भाई है. And the name of that big brother of the scientist is called a Sufi. So what is the difference between a Sufi and a scientist? क्या सूफी सिर्फ तस्वीर फेरने वाले का नाम है? या चिल्ला कशिया or excessive zikr? Is this what a Sufi is, or is this what the sabaf is? No. The sabaf offers you answers which science has not even understood yet. The sabaf offers you that answer. And if you inquire into the world of the sabaf, you submit yourself into the world of the sabaf, you won't need to find the answers will find you. The sabaf की दुनिया में सवाल को ढूंढा नहीं जाता, जवाब को ढूंढा नहीं जाता, साहिल को खुद ब खुद जवाब मिल जाता है. And for this, Allah Azza wa Jalla explains to us in the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ said, listen, don't just limit your pursuit of knowledge. हमारे यहाँ जो इल्म का रिवाज है वो ग्रेजुएशन तक है. The moment आपके असातिज़ा या प्रोफेसर्स आपको वो सर्टिफिकेट दे देते हैं, you think बस छुट्टी ग्रेजुएशन. लेकिन मर्दे मोमिन की कभी ग्रेजुएशन नहीं होती. A mu'min never graduates. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ says, "Utlubul ilma min al-mahdi ila al-lahd." Seek knowledge from your birth till your death. So there is no graduation for a mu'min. Why? Ab ilm se murad kaun sa ilm hai? There are many ulum, but Shah Waliullah, this Hilmi Rahmanullah, he says, Islam to say in the context of Islam, there are two knowledges. How many knowledges are there? How many knowledges? Two knowledges. One is the knowledge of the Zahir, and one is the knowledge of the Batin. External knowledge and internal knowledge. For external knowledge, what do you need? जाहिर इल्म के लिए क्या जरूरी है? अकल, इंटेलेक्ट। और जितनी अकल होगी उतना ही जाहिर इल्म मिलेगा। But the problem with this external intellect is one which the Quran says, be careful. Don't rely on this aql. Why? Aql and so yes, this aql is very clear. Why you have the aql? You have the aql of the person of religion and you have the aql of the scientists. You have the aql of the, and some people, they boast their aql. Ahle तशय्युह की किताबों में अकल में बहुत जोर दिया जाता है, and they say that अहले सुन्नह में अकल की तो तमीज ही नहीं रखी, हमारे यहाँ अकल की बहुत बड़ी तमीज है। But what they don't realize is अकल वाले तो बहुत से हैं, there are many people of अकल, लेकिन अकल does not guarantee ईमान। That is why जितने भी मुहद्दिसीन अहले सुन्नह के यहाँ पाए जाते हैं, उन्होंने अपना पहला बाप अकल से नहीं बांधा, उन्होंने ईमान से बांधा है। क्यों? वो जानते थे कि बहुत से ऐसे अकल वाले होंगे जो ईमान से खाली होंगे, इसलिए अहले सुन्नह में ईमान से इब्तिदा होती है। ईमान is the beginning, but there is the knowledge of the zahir and there is the knowledge of the, how do we get the knowledge of the zahir from this aql? लेकिन जहाँ एक अकल वो है जिसको उलमा फरमाते हैं उसका मतलब ये है, ये वो अकल है, ये ना वो अकल नहीं। लेकिन कुरान और सुन्नत को अगर देखा जाए तो इंसान की एक अकल नहीं है, दो अकल है। One अकल, one intellect resides in the mind and one intellect resides in the heart. This aql is prone to contamination. This aql is prone to corruption. This aql is prone to tampering. This aql. That is why Imam Ahl Sunnah Rahimahullah says, फिर के करीब बात ठोकरें गैर की खाए क्यों? इनको जो अकल दे खुदा तेरी गली से जाए क्यों? दिल की कौन सी अकल है? ये वो नहीं अकल है, अकल का तो मानना वो ये है कि दिल की कौन सी अकल है? But no, the akal of the heart is the most superior akal. Why? It is this akal that will allow you superiority over technology. जिन्होंने इस अकल से सोचा वो टेक्नोलॉजी के पाबंद नहीं थे, टेक्नोलॉजी उनकी पाबंद थी। That is why Musa alayhi salam claimed his knowledge of the Zahir. Allah said, "Oh Musa, your knowledge of the Zahir is not the end all. There is a knowledge which you don't have. That knowledge belongs to those who I have given that knowledge." And the Quran narrates that knowledge. This is a continuous process. There is a knowledge which you don't have. But I am your teacher, and your teacher is to is telling you that once I can give you this knowledge directly, I want you to establish a precedent for the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That this knowledge is not something that will just come to you or you can take a course in. You must seek this knowledge from those who have this knowledge. So when Musa alayhi salam goes to Khidr alayhi salam for this knowledge, he asks the question. قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Musa says, can I ask this knowledge from you? Can I seek this knowledge from you? Because says, oh, well, this knowledge is very difficult to you. The very knowledge you are seeking from me, that knowledge tells me that you cannot comprehend this knowledge. But Musa came in accordance with the protocol of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Khidr didn't turn him down. He said, listen, if you want this knowledge, the shart, the condition is, قَالَ فَإِنِ اتَّبَعْتَنِي فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي عَنْ شَيْءٍ حَتَّى أُحْدِثَ لَكَ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. My precondition is, A, you must be with me, super, company. You must be my company. But that's not the only condition. The second condition is, فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي عَنْ شَيْءٍ. The rule of knowledge of science is that you must ask the question. If you don't ask the question, you don't get the answer. But the rule of the ilm of the batin, the internal ilm is, La tas'alni, don't ask. Why? Your job is to seek it and seek the company of someone who has it. Just because Aqal here doesn't understand it, don't open your mouth. If you want to attain it, you must keep quiet until the answer comes to you. But this was Khidr who said, La tas'alni, don't ask me. Ladies and gentlemen, one day the Prophet stood up, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He didn't say, La tas'alni. What did he say? He said, Saluni amma shi'tum. Ask me whatever you want to ask me. There is no limitation. Don't ask me. Yeah? Ask me. There is no limitation in asking. That is why when the Sunni turns to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't only turn to him for sign knowledge, external knowledge, we also turn to him for internal knowledge. Why? Because we know there isn't any knowledge that he cannot deliver to us. Because the Quran says, وَيُعَلِّمُكُمْ مَا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ. He will teach you every knowledge that you want. Ladies and gentlemen, in the world that we live today, knowledge has only one objective. Why? Why do you do a BA? Why do you do MA? Why do you do a PhD? Job. It's all about job prospects. Why? You're not concerned with ilm. Ilm is about job seek, career. But in Islam, the object of knowledge is not to get a career. The object of knowledge is not material advancement. The object of knowledge is to gain external knowledge and internal knowledge. And when you gain external knowledge, you stand with your head high in the scientific community and you say, where you haven't reached, we have already reached there 1400 years ago. And where you want to reach, we have the ability to reach at that junction. Let me give you one example of this and then we can understand. If you want to see the caliber of the teacher, you look at the caliber of the pupil. The Prophet ﷺ says, Saluni, ask me anything. There is no limitation of what you can and cannot ask me. Now, if this is the status of the teacher, what about the status of the pupil? The the pupil was one day asked by Jibreel Amin, this is no ordinary pupil, the name of this pupil is Sayyidina Ali Karamallahu Wajhahu. So you can see the pupil was asked. This hadith which Uwais read, and I will to anyone, Baba, Jibreel Amin asked this question to Sayyidina Ali. He said, is this true? The Prophet says, and I will to anyone, Baba, the door of knowledge, is this true? And he said, Jibreel asked him the question. He said, okay, I want to ask you a question. He said, my question is this to you. Tell me, where is Jibreel? What is the question? Where is inside? This is not a knowledge of the Zion. He said, where is Jibreel? I said, he didn't say, no, this is knowledge beyond my remit. He said, listen, he closed his eyes for a few seconds and he opened his eyes. He said, the eyes of Ali have transcended every atom of this heaven and every atom of this earth. In the heavens and the earth, there is no corner in which the eye of Ali has not looked. And the eye of Ali has not found Jibreel. And the eye of Ali has concluded that either I am Jibreel or either you are Jibreel. This is knowledge. Knowledge is not just regurgitating a book and saying, oh, this I can regurgitate it. This is not knowledge. Knowledge, yeah, if you close your eye, you open your eyes and you talk to the world. You close your eyes and you command the world. So knowledge, the object of knowledge in the Selfhood is to take you to a level which technology can't take you. But unfortunately, the Ahlul Sunnah have lost this legacy. For us, the Selfhood is a cult-based system of rituals, where we simply practice certain rituals to uphold the notion of the Selfhood. But only if we realize that the real bastions of the Selfhood were those who walked on this earth but yielded authority on the heavens. They walked on this earth, but they had knowledge of the heavens. My message to the Sunni conference today is Sunniyat is not, and the Aqidah of the Ahlul Sunnah is not simply theory. Why? If you try to marry religion with Islam, if you try to marry science with Islam, no school of thought in Islam can marry properly with science except for the Aqidah of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Why? Because the Ahlul Sunnah, the Aqidah of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah is entrenched in reality, and reality is Haqq, and Allah is Haqq, His Rasul is Haqq. When we align ourselves with the right Aqidah, and one question before I leave, someone asked me, is it possible to be a master of the Selfhood without the correct Aqidah? Why? Because there are certain people today, if you see their protocol, their beards are longer than their belly buttons, their imamas are higher than Manhattan. They call themselves sheikhs, they call themselves peers, but their aqaid are not accurately reflective of the true aqaid of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And I want to tell you that even if a person in front of you flies in the air, walks on water, but if his aqidah is incorrect, then he cannot be a wali of Allah. He can be a wali, but not of Allah, he can be wali of shaitan. Be careful, there are those people who are robbing you of your attachment to the self by saying Aqidah is insignificant. Yet, leave this aside, these have nothing to do with ulama. Aqidah is the benchmark of life. Why? Ulama में इख्तिलाफ हो सकता है, लेकिन औलिया में अकायद के ज़मीन में किसी किस्म का इख्तिलाफ नहीं था. The awliya never ever disputed amongst the Qaid. From the very first wali to the very last wali, their Aqidah was all the same. When I said this in a speech, one brother stood up and he said, I believe in Wasma. How can you say that your Aqidah is correct? My Aqidah is correct. I said, be careful. Do you really believe in Wasma? He said, I custom. He said, Asif Iqbal, I believe in Wasma. How can you say my Aqidah is incorrect? I said, tell me one thing. Do you believe that the Prophet is Hazan? He said, no, that's not possible. I said, do you believe in awliya? He said, yes, I believe in awliya. I said, do you believe in Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani? He said, yes, I believe in Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani. I said, well, if you believe in Hazan Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, Hazan Wasma Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani says, I am Hazan. If you can't believe his boss to be Hazan, how can you believe him to be Hazan? It means you are not a real believer of the awliya. We know that through technology you can be Hazan. Technology के जोर पे अगर Hazan हो जाए तो उसमें कोई मुआरिफ नहीं है. And when someone says that awliya are Hazan, the Prophet ﷺ is Hazan. So what I'm trying to say is this is not theory. It's a theory नहीं है. It's a practice. It's a scientific reality. May Allah allow you and me to practice this properly, understand it properly. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا